Hello again, back for more lovely maths. That's great. Here's the second graphing technique. This time we're going to be graphing a linear equation by using the gradient m and a point, but usually it's the y-intercept that we've been given. Now you should notice that lots of things that are on the sheet behind me you already know, and we're actually applying ideas you should know. If you've watched the videos in sequence, you should be okay. And yummy yummy, we have an idiot-proof method. Let's have a look and get on with it. So first of all, on the method, you always need to take the equation and put it into this format. If you don't recognize this format, you're skipping videos. You need to go back. You should know that m represents the gradient, and here the b, or if you're non-American, the c, represents the y-intercept, where this straight line is going to cut the y-axis. From here, I can see what the b number is, so I can just plot 0 with whatever the b number is on the graph. Then I'm going to use the m value, use this formula that you should know. Again, if you don't know this, you need to go and watch the video that's called Finding Gradient from a Graph, and make sure you understand it first. But then we're going to make a pattern that looks like a set of stairs. Okay? Now what do I mean by that? Well, let's have a quick little look. Here, down here, I've plotted the b number. So let's pretend that's the point that we do have on the graph. I'm going to show you how we can make this black line. The change in the x direction is this way. And then the change in the y is this one. So we should have these numbers from the formula, and we can compare it to here. So we know what the change in the y is and the change in the x is. So we can keep using this change in the x, step change in the y, make a new point. Step to the change in the x direction, how far it tells us to go. Then step up into the y direction, make a new point. Step off into the x direction, how far this tells us to go. How far does it tell me to go in the y? And I keep doing this. And what will happen is you end up with 4 points that you can then join and make this black line. Okay, so this is what I call the stairs pattern. Okay, so stop now, copy this down, then I'm going to flip the board and you're going to do some beautiful examples. Okay, did you copy that all down? Are we ready to go? Well, let's put on the green light and let's get on with it. Now the method might have confused you a little, but I'm going to go through it step by step and explain it. And now you've got it in front of you, you can read it as we go along. So first of all, is this equation in y equals mx plus b or y equals mx plus c form? Yes or no? Yes, it is. So look at this now and decide what the m value is and what the b value is now. Okay, let's see if you were right. The b value is the number that sat alone. So here we go. It's -2. And what's the m number? It's the coefficient of the x here. So it's 1/2. Now, what type of gradient is this? See if you can remember. Which direction must the line be going in? Got an answer? Let's go and see if you're right. It's a positive slope. That means the slope must be going in this direction. And if I drew my little stair pattern, I'd have a little right angle triangle. Which number do you think goes here? Stop the video and see if you can get an answer. You ready to go? Let's see if you're right. The number you should have put here is the change in x direction number, which is 2. So I think it's quite obvious now that this is the change in the y direction, and that number is 1. So this is the step pattern we're going to use to help generate all the points. Now I'm going to make you stop here, and I want you to draw an accurate graph of this use 1 unit 1 square in your notebook. When you have drawn this graph with these numbers, we're going to do this together, and in that way you'll learn it better. So please stop the video and make sure you have drawn this graph, and then we can do it together. Okay, I hope you've drawn this graph, because doing it together will make sure that you really understand. If you're just watching me and copying me, that's not going to be as useful. Okay, I'll trust you that you've drawn the graph. Let's get going. Now, the method said to plot the B point, which we have as -2. And as coordinates, that would mean x is 0, and the y number is -2. So I'll go to my graph, plot that point now. Okay, now I'm going to plot mine. Hopefully you put it here in the correct position. 0, -2. Now this is my start off point. So this is like having this point over here. Now how do I get from this place to this place without going along the straight line, but along the safe distance of the dotted line, the non-electrocuted line, as I sometimes describe it if you're playing a game? Well, if we were playing a game and you were giving somebody directions who's blindfolded, and you were out in the playground, you would say, step to the right 2 places, then step up 1 place, and then this is the new safe point that we can get to. So let's try that out. Start here, on your graph as well at the same time, step 2 to the right, and wait. Now step up 1. Now this is a new point, so I can make a point here. So what we've done is we've travelled 2 and 1. Now we want to form the new next point. Again, I have to go to the right 2 places, and then I step up 1. You should find now you're on 4 on the x-axis. Let's do one more together. Step 2 to the right, step 1 up and make a point. And you can see these are forming a straight line. Let's try and go over in this direction. Stop the video and see if you can find the point that should be over here. Okay, I'm going to show you now. Using this same pattern, I should go down 1 and step 2 to the left. Go down 1 and step 2 to the left and make a new point. And as you can see, I have a straight line here. Now you use this magic device called a ruler and you join them up. Okay, and there you've got your straight line. So now I have a second example for you, and there's a slight trick in it. So I'd like you to draw a graph again here, 1 centimetre square for each, and write down what you think the B and the M number is. Once you've done that, come back and I'll show you how to do the next step. So stop the video now and follow my instructions, draw the graph, work out what the B and the M value is, and then come back. Okay, I hope you worked out the M and the B value, and I hope you've drawn a graph so we can do this quickly together. Then it'll be on to some questions. Now this time, the equation again is already been put into y equals mx plus b form, or y equals mx plus c. Of course, if it's not, you have to do that first. Looking at this, you should have seen that the b number was 3. And then you should have plotted that on the graph. Easy peasy. Now, the next part, the m number is -2. Okay, now what must have been the number that was underneath here? If you haven't got a number yet, just stop for a second and think, what must the number be underneath here for the change in x direction? Okay, you should have told me that there was an invisible 1. Now what's slightly different about this one is this symbol here. What does that mean? Can you remember? Stop the video. See if you've got an answer. When you have, press play and see if you were right. You ready to go? Okay. A negative gradient means the line has gone from top left to bottom right. So this time, my right angled triangle is in this direction. And the change in y number is 2. And the change in x number is 1. So if I begin life up here and I want to travel along this safe dotted line to form the next point, I would tell the person to go down 2 places and then step 1 to the right. If I start here and I want to get to this second point here, I would tell the person step 1 to the left and then step 2 up. And that is your next new point. So let's go over here and see if we can do that now. See if you can plot it without me first, and then check you're working out with me after you've completed it. Okay, I hope you've got a straight line on your graph, but let's just double check with me to make sure you've done it right. Okay, so I'm going to start from here. This means I go down 2 places, 1, 2, and I step to the right, 1. From here I'm going to go 2 down, 1, 2, and step to the right, 1. So if I draw my little triangles, give you an idea what's going on. 1 and a 2 there, and there's a 1 distance, and this was a 2 distance. And I could carry on going on in this direction. I could go down 2 more and step across 1. Up here I should be able to do it. So let's pretend I'm here now and I need to get to this second point. So this time I'm going to step 1 to the left and go up 2. As you can see, all these dots, points, are in a straight line. You should now get a ruler and join them up. You have then formed the straight line. And that's it. You've just got to be careful about lines being positive and that you form your stair pattern in a positive direction, and when they're negative, that you form your stair pattern so the line is going in a negative direction. Okay, I think you know enough now. Make sure these examples are correctly copied into your notebook, and then it's time to stop and do some questions. And I'll see you next time for some more lovely maths. Thank you.